Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the AFL Final Series podcast in 2020. This is our third one, but the second one wasn't released. It may be released as an unlisted video with some edits, parts taken out of it. If you're interested in this podcast series, I'm about to admit the co-host, Jake, and we're going to talk about the upcoming preliminary finals. It's going to be very interesting. Here comes Jake into the podcast. He has just got back to me. It's connecting audio. Jake, welcome to the 2020 AFL Final Series podcast. How have you been?
Hola.
Welcome to the 2020 Final Series podcast. That was the most amazing start ever with the audio.
Thank you. I tried.
As usual, I've started it again. And what have we got here? Look at this. Oh, no.
Makes it in this call. No.
Oh, fuck.
How do you feel about St Kilda eventually demising to Richmond? How do you feel about that?
Very, very proud of my club for not, getting absolutely thumped. Because they could have been thumped way worse. So look, I like what they did. It's just it's a bit shit when you realize that if we kick straight, we might have had a even bigger chance. But I could never see us winning that one. Next year for the Saints, I'm very, very excited about next year. I can tell you that right now. Finally, we're a huge chance.
Well, next year would be a better year for you guys.
Next year is going to be top four, hopefully.
I don't think top four. I think you guys will be finishing either. I know you guys are going to make finals next year, but I don't think it'll be top four. I think it would either be between 1 to 6. That's it.
We're not going to win the premiership, though, if we don't finish top four. This group has to finish top four for any chance of the flag.
Well, yeah, you're right. But I still don't think you guys will finish maybe top four, maybe fifth.
That would be so shit finishing in fifth.
Well, yeah. How do you think we feel? West Coast.
Just every single week finishing outside of the top. Every single year finishing just outside the top four. That is very tough. But then again, you guys won your flag, so it's not as painful. I think if you lost that grand final to the Pies, that would have been the worst. But you didn't. So finishing fifth isn't the worst thing in the world for West Coast, surely.
Well, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just it's a difficult task because you're so close to being able to play in a home advantage, and also you're so close of having two chances, but ultimately you only have one when you finish fifth. So
yeah, and sadly, I don't think that group over at West Coast, I don't think they have the mental. I don't know. Whenever they've finished fifth, it seems like they've always kind of like given up about winning 4 finals in a row to take the premiership. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's actually under contract right now, or maybe he has one more season left. But have you noticed that everyone for West Coast has been re-signed except Tom Barrass?
I hope St Kilda don't pick up Tom Barrass.
Oh, I don't know. I think the best destination might be for GWS for him. I mean, be the best destination. But
where he can get games.
Enough talking about my West Coast Eagles.
Prelim final.
We're not talking about my West Coast Eagles because they were eliminated in the first round of the finals. We're talking about the third round of the finals, the prelim finals, where Richmond is versing Port Adelaide. And may I just quickly say that I personally believe that Tom Lynch and Trent Cotchin got away with just a slap on the wrist, especially what they did. Trent Cotchin slinging Zach Jones when he wasn't going for the balls after the whistle, slinging him from the neck. He should have at least received a larger fine because it's dangerous conduct. And Tom Lynch, that's the primary one that's just not good. He should have been suspended, as this was his 5th incident. He should have been suspended for at least 5 games. That's it. But
one.
No, I'm meaning like as in 1 and then 5, so 4 when they start the season.
Nah, they don't do that. They don't do that. They don't like say one and then you get to play a grand final and then for the next year.
Yeah, but like consider this, okay? Like, yeah, he got suspended in the majority of his technical issues, but this one was probably, to me, probably the worst because it was an actual like going for it and not going for the ball, actually instead of play and kneeing someone. Eventually, it could have been worse, and he could have suffered a fucking shoulder injury. But all he gets away with is $750. Fine, that is pathetic.
Nothing to him.
Yeah, that is pathetic. And especially if this is 5 incidences this year, that is pathetic.
Yeah.
And
It doesn't frustrate me too much because I've just tried to ignore it as a Saints fan because I don't get angrier because we lost. So I don't really. I just want to see Lynch get fucking owned by Port players in that prelim. I reckon five of them will tackle. Like you saw them, they're tackling pressure on Dangerfield, right, in the qualifying final.
yeah,
They're gonna fucking do that to Lynch. Just watch. Like they're gonna friggin' kill him physically. Like what's his face? Hardwick
yeah.
saying in the media
Well,
that. Sorry.
no, you go. You go. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Sorry.
You're on a roll. You're on a roll, mate.
Hardwick saying in the media, Lynch is a physical player. That's how he plays his footy. He's all physical. I'm like, no, he's fucking not. He's a forward. He's a full forward. He does nothing. He's going to get fucking owned by Port Adelaide.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, okay, consider this, all right? Just consider this option
Bitch physical.
that even though you don't like him, even though like if you don't like Barry Hall, okay, for example, you don't like Barry Hall, okay? And there were circumstances where in the early 2000s, he basically went out to injure people and got plenty of suspensions in that. And to be honest with you, Tom Lynch should have been treated the similar way as Barry Hall because he's just it's too aggressive and it's to a point where it needs to be looked at and not actually considered as, oh, okay, it's just a fair game, it's fair play. When realistically it's not. It's something that is really fucked up and you're risking someone's injury. Like, yeah, it was a St Kilda player, which was an elimination game. Okay, yeah, he can heal it. He can be fine. He can be fine after it. But if he got a serious fucking injury out of that, like that can ruin his fucking AFL playing career. Like, like people don't understand that the smallest of injuries can really ruin an athlete. Like,
Yeah.
and especially if they're going for it, it's just terrible.
I'm just predicting that Lynch gets a massive taste of his own medicine in that prelim. The Port players won't let him do that to them. I mean, the Saints players are so young, inexperienced. They're not used to those big, grunty matches. Richmond completely outplayed us, but I don't think Port will let that happen. They're gonna target Lynch so heavily, and he's just gonna get fucking owned in that game. He's not even gonna get a goal. Like I'm predicting, I know it's a big prediction, but as soon as like Lynch gets the ball, for starters, the crowd's gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy. Because I hate the bloke so much. But I don't know what happened. I didn't hate him that much last year. It's just this year he's done some really scummy things. Like when he went up to the Gold Coast Parade and went, and he had that, and he was like, I honestly wanted to jump through the screen and
Trying to
just
intimidate.
destroy him. What's it?
Yeah. The kid Tom Lynch looks like a 17-year-old. He's not that intimidating.
Fuck
He
off.
does not, like, if Charlie Dixon did that, then yeah, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Because that man looks like he could fucking beat your ass.
Barry Hall would
Tom
be
Lynch.
scary. Barry Hall would be so scary. But Tom Lynch, you just fucking fuck that little shit up. Look at his shitty long blonde locks. I'd freaking rip those out of his head. You've seen the AFL footage. Oh fuck yeah.
But real quickly with that, like,
Yes.
I just personally believe that Tom Lynch should have gotten suspended. Trent Cotchin, I don't mind he didn't get suspended and he got like a little fine. That's fine. But Tom Lynch should have been suspended for that. And it's just rough conduct that, and even if he missed one game, okay, and Richmond won against Port Adelaide, he'll be still playing in the grand final. It's just more so the fact that it's a risk. It's such a risk on other players' health that it's so dangerous that it shouldn't be necessary. And like, you can go for the cheap shots, like in the chest, that's fine. Like Andrew Gaff accidentally hit, fucking what's his name? Yeah.
That wasn't an.
Um,
That was just careless.
it- yeah, it was careless, and it was technically an accident. I mean, look, he paid his punishment. He paid his
Oh yeah.
punishment.
No, I don't. I'm not
He
saying
paid his
that's a rough
punishment.
player at all. I just didn't think that was an accident. He meant that, but he didn't. No, he didn't mean it to fucking destroy his jaw and destroy his teeth, but he meant to hit him.
Yeah, that's what I'm intending. That's what I'm implying. Like, he was meant to go for the chest and then just accidentally hit the jaw. That's why I'm saying it's an accident when
Bad
it comes down
accident,
to the
bro.
jaw.
His premiership.
Yeah, it was a bad accident. It was a bad accident. But I think Tommy Lynch will probably kick 2 goals against Port.
But
But nothing too special. It's probably gonna come after like some bullshit free kicks. Like for St Kilda, against St Kilda, he got away with so much shit and got paid so much. So I wouldn't be
Richmond
surprised.
get all the frees. Just watch. Richmond will get every single free kick in that game of football. They will be blessed. The AFL umpires will literally pray to Richmond. It's just like, Richmond, I love you.
Yeah.
Oh, Richmond. Over. God damn. Should I make a video if they lose?
No. No, you should not. You shouldn't anger Richmond fans. Okay. But all I'm saying is a lot of Richmond fans, they do say that, oh, we don't get any calls or free kicks. When realistically, you guys fucking do. Like, yeah, against Brisbane, you guys didn't get that many fucking free kicks, but it's probably because during the whole fucking season, you guys were getting a lot of free kicks, and they were bullshit at that. So just take one game compared to 22 others. It's like, okay, you guys get your one day where you don't get any free kicks and you complain. Like, come on.
They used to get dicked in the free kick count a long time ago, but that was when they were shit. And since they've become good for some fucking reason, they're just the umpires. Like, you know, they just love them. They actually.
Well, it's also because Richmond players know how to act. They know how to act. And like, also real quickly, with that, Hurley for Essendon. Remember that play when it was Richmond versus Essendon and Tom Lynch like punched Hurley in the face? What? I'm pretty sure Tom got suspended for 1 game.
I don't remember.
Essendon with a beard, Hurley.
Yeah.
I think that's his name. Yeah.
Was it earlier this year?
Yeah, earlier this year. And then basically a lot of the media coverage stated like, oh, well, Tom Lynch is doing the good thing. Like, he's standing up to the bully. And it's like, no, not in any fucking way. And like, I feel like because of all of our conversations, it really alludes that we are Tom Lynch haters. Look, I don't mind Tom Lynch. It's just what he's been doing this year is really, really disgusting. And it's something that is not good for the AFL. And I'm be honest with you, he is not as good as what people hype him up to be. Like they and I know he had a hamstring injury and everything like that. That's fine. That's all good. But the whole idea of it, like, is when I was watching, I'm pretty sure it was Lloydie and Ross. They were talking about it, and they were talking about Port Adelaide versus Richmond, and they were discussing how Tom Lynch was against the St Kilda game and to prepare themselves for Port. And they were like, oh, Tom Lynch played an excellent game. He was there, especially coming off a hamstring injury. He was amazing. And it's like, no, he was actually dog shit. He kicked 1 for 6. And also, he marked. He marked the ball a lot. Yeah, good job. He got into possessions, but he didn't efficiently kick and kick it consistently. So therefore, he didn't play a good game. He played a quite terrible game. It's just you guys want to put him up to a fucking pedestal like every Richmond player because they're the previous champs. And it sucks. It's like, come on, man. Like, back off their dick for just a bit, please. I love Lloydie, I love Ross, but just back off his dick. Back off Richmond's dick.
I don't, I don't have a problem with. I think it's okay what Tom Lynch does. What's not okay is him not getting penalized for it. Like he can knee as many players in the head or in the shoulder and just sit on as many players as he wants. But if he's not going to get suspended for doing that, then there's a problem. If he gets his just desserts from the MRO, this is why I fucking hate the MRO. Michael Christian is an idiot when it comes to just how he decides who gets suspended or not. There's actual evidence of him when he used to host a show called The Fifth Quarter after AFL games. And the co-host would ask him, before he was the MRO officer, I think, oh no, he was starting. He's like, would you suspend him for that? And it would be the dumbest thing ever. And Michael would just be like, yes, I would suspend him for that. And it's like, what? He did nothing. And then when the player actually did something bad, the co-host would go, all right, Michael, would you suspend him for that? And he'd be like, nah, you get off for that. And I'm just thinking, why is this fucking guy the head of the MRO? Like, for big finals, imagine if what's his face? I mean, a really good player got suspended for fucking nothing in a prelim final. It'd just be the biggest disaster. What a fucking
imagine if Lockie Neal got suspended for one misconduct that wasn't even misconduct against Richmond.
And Tom Lynch gets off. And Tom Lynch just gets off by fucking kneeing someone.
Well, do you remember when Sam, I'm pretty sure it was Sam Pepper. Sam Pepper. He got suspended for like 2 games because he did a slide tackle. And he was going for the ball. Yes, it was dangerous. But he got suspended for like 4 games for when he was going for the ball. When Tom Lynch didn't get suspended at all and got a slap on the wrist when he was physically trying to hurt someone and not going for the ball.
Shit system.
So how the fuck does that make sense?
Makes no sense.
I think they just need to make a big fucking outlook and just go, look, we need to clean house on the MRA and just start over. Get someone fucking brand new in there. Get your boy Kane Corns.
Nah, look, with the MRO, the big problem is the inconsistency. And there's obviously always going to be inconsistencies. Like, there's always going to be dumb decisions. But Ben Long getting suspended in the contest versus Tom Lynch getting suspended for having his knee on someone's fucking, on someone for like 10 seconds.
It's ridiculous.
It's not fucking consistency. Yeah. It's shit.
It's not.
Of course,
there's no
Ben
consistency.
Long gets suspended, lesser known player. And Tom Lynch is the superstar. Nah, we won't suspend him. He's our baby. We love him. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I hate it. I hope he gets fucking decked in the prelim, Tom Lynch.
Okay, let's move on to the Tom Lynch. Let's move on the Tom Lynch, and let's just talk about the prelim finals between Port Adelaide versus Richmond. Who do you have winning that?
I want to. You know what? Because I want Port Adelaide to win, I'm going to say Port. But my head is saying Richmond a little bit. You know, you can kind of tell they're going to just find their way over the line. But, you know, it's got, you know, I don't know. It just reminds me of 2015 when Hawthorn went all the way from finishing the first qualifying. But, oh, fuck. I'd love to see Port get up, but I don't know. I'll go with Port just because I really want Port to win. And I really am so sick and tired of Richmond. I hate all their players. I hate the whole team. Hate the coach.
No, that's a good pick because, I mean, as my prediction previously was Richmond versus Brisbane in the grand final, and Richmond losing the first game and then Brisbane going through and then Richmond demolishing, I'm going to go with Port because I think Port are just a little bit more complete. compared to Richmond right now. Richmond have too much issues going on with that fucking club. Like, yes, they're really, really good, but they have way too much issues.
I agree.
Like, you can be a team that has really good, like that. You could be a team that's really, really efficient and really good and consistent.
Yeah.
And you could also be kind of dickish and be still a really good team.
Yeah.
But it comes to a point where even if you surpass that, like Richmond were kind of dickish last year. And typically those teams only last for 1 year because it kind of just breaks apart. Like, I don't see Richmond advancing, as sad as my prediction should be, but I don't see Richmond advancing. And I think that the main teams that are going to be in the grand final are Port Adelaide, and I'm not going to spoil the other part because that's for the other part.
Before we go to prelim final 2 predictions, I'm just gotta say, I have a weird feeling that a Victorian team is gonna make it through. I don't know which one, but I just can't see one of those 2 Victorian sides, Richmond and Geelong, who have been powerhouses all year, missing it. I don't know. I've got a bad feeling Richmond are probably going to go all the way this year, but I really hope they don't. Port Adelaide Brisbane versus Geelong. You know what?
Real quick, I just need to quickly go to the toilet, mate. So just quickly take a break,
All right, we'll pause and we'll go to Richmond versus Geelong in 1 moment. We're back.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back. Hi. Where have you been? Where have you been?
Nowhere. Just
that was like an hour and 15 minutes. I've been waiting here after my piss.
Oh God.
Jeez.
All right, no man. Gross. Piss. So what did you say before? You really hope who doesn't make the grand final?
Well, I really hope Richmond don't make the grand final. Even though I'm backing off my prediction, I really don't want them to, primarily because it's just, I personally believe that team is just dysfunctional. And I really don't want a dysfunctional team winning the fucking championship. Like, they're great. They're a great side. Don't get me wrong. They're amazing. And if they were to win the premiership this year, they are worthy champs. But I don't want them to go through, and I hope they don't.
Nah, mate, they don't have the MCG, so they won't.
Yeah, they're playing at Adelaide Oval, aren't they?
And then Brisbane, which is going to be really fucking hard.
Yeah, but you know how good Richmond actually are. Fuck. You know how good Richmond actually are in Brisbane at the Gabba.
Technical difficulties. Yeah, look, Brisbane against Geelong. I don't know. I think the Cats are a chance, definitely because of their recent prelims and how devastated they are from all of them. But I just don't see. This is the only chance in the history of the Brisbane Lions, I'm guessing, that Brisbane are going to have any chance of playing a home grand final, and I doubt they'll miss out on that. Like, I just can't see them.
I doubt highly as well. I feel like they'll make the actual push and get through. So my prediction is for the grand final: Port Adelaide versus Brisbane, a 2004 rematch. So
Interesting.
And that's who I have. But real quickly, I think the best player on ground in that game, I don't think it's gonna be Patrick Dangerfield. I don't think it's gonna be Lachie Neale. I don't think it's gonna be Dane Zorko. I think it will actually be probably Sam Menegola or Cam Guthrie. I think those 2 players will probably be the best players in that game.
So it's going to be a close prelim.
I feel like it's going to just be Brisbane winning by 12. And also, sorry, with that, I also have Port Adelaide winning by 26.
In the grand final?
No, in the prelim.
I was going to say, fair enough, 26.
Because once you sort out Richmond and you figure out who they are, huh?
I just said 20.
Yeah. I'll explain why. So basically, when it comes down to Richmond, when you actually figure out their ideas and you figure out how they play, they're actually a very simple side to beat, especially if you just have the defensive mind that your coach has, and you just are able to put line up on the fly. Like, I would say that flooding won't work against Richmond, but a nice consistent defense that actually pushes back just a bit and you don't have to worry about your offense, I feel like will work against Richmond. And when you solve Richmond's problems and you solve what they're doing and you fix it, they're bugger all. They're absolutely dog shit. Because it showed when in the first in the season when it was St Kilda versus Richmond, where you guys won. You guys figured out.
Okay.
No, but hear me out. Okay, basically, yeah, a lot of Richmond players were injured. Okay, but when it came down to it, St Kilda figured out Richmond's strengths and kind of cut it off, and then Richmond just went boo. Didn't try to figure out what the problems were. Didn't try and figure out how to fix this. They just went down. And like, yeah, finals and seasons are completely different, but still.
They're not
But back, yeah, but back to the Brisbane versus Geelong. I feel like Brisbane are going to go at it and just go straight for the fucking jugular. While Geelong, I feel like I'm not going to back down my statement that I've made previously by saying that Geelong are just, I think, too old and just have too much. They have experience, which is good, but would you rather experience over the game and some of your players have made grand finals and won grand finals compared to a young, athletic, well-trained and well-coached team? Like, I would prefer the well-coached team.
And their home ground and the backstory of them trying to be, the only ever team outside of Victoria to play a home grand final ever. That'd just be
Yeah.
that'd be amazing. Even Brisbane just playing in the grand final. So I think Geelong have more up against them than Richmond do. But look, I hope it's Brisbane Port, but I just have doubts. That's all. I don't see a Vic team missing it. I really, really want them both to lose, Geelong and Richmond. But I don't know. We'll have to see how we go.
I love how we both live in Victoria and we don't want any Richmond team. Sorry, we don't want any Victorian teams to get in.
Every year, the Victorian teams, they win it every single year.
Yeah, and I'd like to say, who brought in the first flag outside of Victoria?
Port.
So beautiful. Yeah, Port Adelaide. Actually, no. It wouldn't have been Sorry, it wouldn't have been Port Adelaide if West Coast didn't win. It would have been fucking Sorry, it wouldn't have been Adelaide.
The Port Adelaide Eagles.
Port Adelaide Eagles. Oh, imagine that. It's an eagle with a fucking thunderstruck, like thunderbolt.
Oh, geez. I have a fun fact for you, by the way, Jake. Did you know that two teams that have zero Victorian ties to them have never made the grand final against one another? So there's never been a grand final with two completely non-Victorian teams. There's only been grand finals with at least one team that's had former connections to Victorian teams. Like Sydney in 2005 and 6 used to be South Melbourne. Brisbane in 2004, that was the first non-Victorian grand final. They used to be Fitzroy. And you look at all of the other ones since, it's been close to being a full non-Victorian grand final. But for example, if Fremantle played West Coast, that's a full non-Victorian grand final. If Port played West Coast this year, that would have been full non-Victorian. It's never happened before, and it'll probably happen one day. But that'll be interesting. I don't know.
I think it might happen next year. I think it might happen next year.
I hope not, because I want my Saints.
Because it's going to be Port Adelaide versus Gold Coast.
Harley Dixon against his old mom.
Matt Rao.
That'd be bigger than Buddy versus Hawthorn.
Fucking hell. But no, I think Port Adelaide are going to be a team. Oh my god, a team to reckon with for like 5 years. But I feel like Port Adelaide are going to have a similar like circumstance with Adelaide, but just not with the training camp. Definitely not with the training camp. But I feel like they're going to be very good to an excellent team, and then back to very good, and then meh. Just like Adelaide.
Maybe.
Like,
If they win the flag, I hope they drop off, just because I don't like dominance in the sport. It's not as interesting as, for example, when the Bulldogs won and it was like, wow, that's incredible. But if they don't win the flag, I hope they stay consistent. But the problem is, I feel like when you lose it in a heartbreaker like Collingwood, you just slowly drop off, and then you lose your opportunities. I feel like that really fucked with Collingwood.
so are you saying to me, are you saying to me that you don't like the early 2000s Brisbane Lions?
Well, if I lived through that era, I would have hated it because, I did live through that era. But if I followed footy through that era, I would be hating the Brisbane Lions right now, and I would not want them to win the premiership. But because I was like 2 years old when they won their first, and I was like 4 when they won their third or something. Yeah, I don't really care. I want to see Brisbane win the premiership. I would love to see them win.
Yeah, same. I just want my boy Dane Zorko and Mitch Robinson to get some stuff.
Here's the thing: if Brisbane,
I actually love Mitch Robinson.
If Brisbane play Richmond in the grand final and Brisbane win in a thriller, and just Mitch Robinson just fucks up Lynch the whole game, that would be great to watch.
It would be great to watch. It would really be great to watch. But also, I'd like to.
Yeah, sorry.
I would really like to see Lachie Neale get his props. Granted, though, I think if it's Port Adelaide versus Brisbane in the grand final, I think Travis Boak will actually win the Norm Smith medal. Even no matter which team wins, I think Travis Boak will win it.
You steal my tips?
Personally. Hey, piss off, mate. I was a Travis Boak fan before you.
We're allowed to use the C word.
Oh, sorry.
It's not as bad as the last.
There you go. There's a little beep.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, no. Well, Travis Boak wins the Norm Smith. Everyone celebrates. And Brisbane win the premiership.
Yeah, I can see it. I genuinely can see that.
Podcast. Goodbye, everyone. Oh, no.
We have one more, don't we? We have one more podcast. We don't have another podcast?
We have one more for the grand final, don't
we? Have one more, which is the... No, we actually have 2 more, technically.
Oh, you want to do a grand final after party and Brownlow and, just everything.
No, just the Brownlow and grand final. That's it.
Jake is going to set up the Brownlow stream because I can't be... I have Streamlabs, but my Streamlabs is shite. And it doesn't work down here. And I can't do streams in my room because it's too loud. So, Jake, it's your job, man. It's your job to set...
All about me is I don't actually have a proper computer that can actually function it. So
I think it can.
No, it can't.
Yes, it can.
No, it's an HP laptop. That's all I have.
What?
It's definitely not going to. My Mac is just done. It's not running well.
Oh no!
Literally, the battery is actually messed up in it.
Oh, so, you just buy a new battery?
Yeah, but I haven't been fucked buying a new battery.
Can I have that computer?
How dare you? How dare you take my computer away from me?
All I'd have to do is just buy a new battery, and I got myself a new computer.
No, I'm buying a new battery to piss you off.
Please do. It wouldn't piss me off because then you'd be able to host streams. Anyway, everyone, just so this podcast can process and I can upload it very soon, I'm cutting Jake off and I'm cutting the podcast here. But thank you. Oh, no. If you're happy to
Thank you very much.
I don't know.
I appreciate being on here.
Oh, wow, that's lovely.
I'm happy to end it. Yeah.
We'll be back,
Thank you very much, Sam, for me being on your podcast. I appreciate it. It was a lovely joyride for you and me. I've had some emotional rides through this.
All right, all right, mate.
It's just really tough. I had to suffer through my Eagles losing to Collingwood.
Is all I can say. Fuck Richmond. No. Jesus Christ. All right, no, it's okay. It's all right.
I wasn't saying Collingwood to win against Richmond.
They didn't. Weeks ago. It's all right, dude. It's okay. Just calm down. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. Just calm down.